Welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to have a look at my field maple. So I want to do something a little bit different with this one. I think we've all got a tree like this, and what I mean by that, this for me, this tree has just been nothing but headache after headache. No matter how I trim this tree to get it to have 2 buds at any one place, it kicks out another 4 and it continues to do that, and then I get knuckles, and then I try to sort the knuckles out and then it looks weird. So we're going to have a little, going to bring you in a minute, and I'm going to go through and clean out what I'm going to clean out all the dead that I've got here, and I'm also going to try and cut back to 2 again where I can, and if I can't I'm just going to start the branch again. Right, so anyone that didn't really understand what I meant, if you look here, this has basically chucked out 4 buds from one point and it's turned into a knuckle. This tree is quite predictable like that. It does occasionally, it behaves itself a bit like here, but it's normally what it does is it does this. So I need to sort that out. I can't continue to let that grow because it will just end up with a knuckle again, and it will look very ugly. But what I'm going to do first is where I've cut back and it's died back, I'm going to go in and just take these out first. Okay, so we're going to go through, clean out anything I can clean out now. So if I need to put wire on, then I've got a little bit more of a clean sort of run to go and do that, but I'm not sure how this one's going to go, to be honest with you. I did think I was going to wire it, and then the more I looked at it, yeah, it just looked like I was going to reset most of it, but we'll see. I'm going to see, because I might be able to save it, but I really don't want to continue with the wrong decisions, and I think that's what this tree has been, really, is where it's annoyed me. It's that one tree that I've kind of left it alone and then gone in and cut it back and not really knowing what to do about it, because it didn't matter what I did about it. It just carried on doing this. So I think what I'm going to do, let's start with this first branch. Okay, now I try to think of a way to explain this. So let's imagine that we get on a train, right? Our train is this bud that's created this branch. Okay, so we get on the train and we've got a destination in mind we want to get to. And what happens is, along the way, is we realise that we've actually missed our stop. Okay, and instead of getting off the train at the next stop, we've kind of continued down the path that is on the wrong path. Okay, so we're never going to get to our destination if we continue on that route. So what we need to do really is we need to get off at the next stop and maybe start our journey again. Yeah, so we'll go right back to the beginning if we need to. So although this is a lovely branch that we've grown for all those years, I mean, what, that's probably, I'm going to say it's nearly 4 years old. Okay, and although it's, you know, it's taken me that long to grow it, it's not a very pretty branch. Now what could I do? I could cut this off, keep this and try and manipulate that somehow. I could cut that off and keep that bigger part. In fact, let's start there. I'm going to cut that right there, take that off, Yeah? Now, has that made that any better? Do you know what? I think that might have made it that little bit better than what it was to start with. Okay, so we can keep that for definite. But what we also need to look at is now these extensions, the nodes in between are getting too long, which it tends to do on this tree. So what I want to do is go in, just cut back to where I can get away with. Okay, and just try and activate all these buds further back later. There's quite a few back here. Now if we go to this branch here, we've got the same problem as we've got all over the rest of the tree, where it's kind of chucked out four buds. So what I really want to do now at this point is get rid of this one that's poking up, for starters. Yeah. And what I'll do is I will get rid of this bud that's ready to come out there. Okay. Try and cut back a little bit better than that. Let me bring the camera in. So now, as we look down, you can see it bifurcates into two, and yeah, we've got multiple buds coming up here, but I'll wait a little bit longer before I start to bud select any of those. And there's also, I don't know if you can see, just back here where my finger is, there's some latent buds there as well. So yeah, we'll hopefully get something good out of them. There you go, that's into two as well. So this is what we're going to do through the whole tree. My problem is here, is this gap. This gap is horrible. Ideally what I want to do is take this off, yeah, and maybe we'll wire this round. But this gap and this horrible scar where the knuckle was, it's just not sitting right with me. So what I want to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Try and make it as clean as possible. Okay, so now I need to get rid of this, or do I keep it? Personally, I think it's in the wrong position, and this one is in the wrong position as well, so let's get rid. So my next decision is with this branch here. This is absolutely hideous, this knuckle, really nasty one. So what can I do? I could leave it and it'll get fatter and fatter, look more and more hideous, or I could do something about it. So I think my decision with this one is going to be quite simple. I'm going to cut this off, yeah, and we're going to get rid of this. Right, and we've got two here. Okay, so what I do need to do is have a look at that. Is that dead? No, it's alive. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shorten that back. Okay, so I can get a bit of wire on that, and that should look quite alright. At least it doesn't look out of control like it has done. The next decision is going to be about this point here. So again, we've got all these buds coming out of one point, and I'm really not happy with that. So for starters, if you can see on the end of this, there's 4. There'll be more than that because, you know, next year there'll be another 2 from each base of that come out, and it's just too much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, just for now, get rid of that, get rid of this. And then what I'll do, get rid of that. Right, so my next decision is definitely whether I keep this bit or do I leave, cut back to here, leave these 2 buds, let them go. I'd have to decide one of these would have to go as well, or do I cut right back and leave these 2, get rid of this. There's no point in continuing on a path if it's wrong. Okay, there's no point staying on the train because you're not going to get to your destination any quicker. All you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get off at the last stop and go right the way back. Yeah, so we might as well just get off the train when we can and then continue our journey. So what we're going to do, I'm going to cut that off. Now I've got these 2 to play with. There'll be more buds come from here, I know there will. So what I'll probably do is I'll leave these as a safety net, see what these buds do, and then what we can do is I can pick buds with shorter internodes. Right, it's looking a little bit more like it should do now. So I think what we'll do now is I'll just get a little bit of wire on the bits that are there, maybe bring this branch down a little bit and try and pull it round. The main point to this longer video, I suppose, is to try and put across that there's no point in you just leaving the tree to its own devices like I did, because in the long run it's not going to be very good. You're not going to get anything decent by doing that. So I'm going to just tweak that. I think the plan over time, this might not even stay, but we'll just see what happens back here with these buds. And I'll probably just keep going further back, or it might even be that I can gain more ramification from these buds back here. You know, some of these branches, they might not even stay as well, and I think, considering what it did look like, it looks a little bit better now than it did. So if you like that little video, if you could just hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. Thanks to everyone that already follows me. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.